Hi guys, this is Gaz from Radiant Silver Labs, and I just thought I'd give a little preview of a fish tank simulation I'm working on in Unity. So here you can see the empty fish tank, and a couple of details here is that there's an actual fish tank, yeah, and then there's a surface at the top that is meant to represent the water, um, the surface of the water, and then there's bubbles and there's a couple of floating things. And if I go into the menu here, you can see there's a help screen with various things, so you can move the camera around like that, forward and back, left and right. Now you can reset that by using U, and let's add some fish and see it come to life. So I pressed T there, that added 20 fish randomly from my collection. Now the real custom fish are still being made. These are paid for fish, but they're working brilliantly, just as good as the paid for ones will be, I'm sure. So if I press T again just to add a few more, there's lots of different types. It's randomly picked, so sometimes it picks more of one or the other, so you can get rid of them all and add them again if you feel like that. I'm not sure if the fish are a little bit small at the moment. Maybe I need to make them bigger. But let's have a look at some of the other features. So I showed the camera, which you can go down, up. Obviously this is kind of pointless because you don't really want to look outside the tank. But, for debugging and things like that, it's worth looking at. You can go right in and have a look at the rocks and things like that. If you press U, then you follow a fish randomly. And you can zoom in and out with the mouse wheel. If you hold shift, it zooms in more dramatically. So let's follow a couple of different fish. Right now it's following this shark, which is probably meant to be very large. It's not meant to be a tiny little shark like that, but I just used it because I always used to like silver sharks, and they were like mini little sharks in a tank. Wow, picked the same one there, I think, or almost. And as you can see, you can zoom right out. And this grid I've got at the edge is just to show, you're kind of out of bounds. Oh, there's a loose fish on the right there, one that's escaped. So, have a look at a couple more fish. Oh, it's pretty cool. If I zoom in again using the mouse wheel. Now other features are toggling the tank. So if you press R, you get rid of the tank altogether, and you can get rid of the water surface at the top there, which makes no sense when the tank's gone like that. So that looks pretty cool. Probably no need for the tank, to be honest, but I put it in anyway because this is for a client and I don't know for sure what they want. That's why I've included all these options, just to see. So let them play around with it basically. And you can see the fish number there is 84. You can add as many as you want, so let's go crazy and add like 1,000 fish, and then I'll remove them just to see how it deals with it. And you can also display the frames per second, so I might as well do that. If you press I there, you can see in the bottom it's running over 200 frames per second. But if I add fish, keep going, we'll go up to 1,000. Down to 40 FPS now, below 30. This isn't using any advanced techniques for speed, apart from a compute shader. It could be a lot faster, but it doesn't really need to hold 1,000 fish, obviously. There's exactly 1,000 fish, still running at almost 30 frames per second, but you can see they're very jerky. It's pretty interesting though to see. And then if you follow a fish, obviously you can't hardly tell which one it is, and there's millions of other fish in the way, but still quite interesting. I really enjoy this sort of stuff. It's fun really. Obviously the fish are not perfect yet. the way they behave, but they're pretty close. So now let's reduce the amount of fish down. As you can see, it's going down it's down to like 900 now. Get it back to a sensible frame rate, which is probably 100 fish or something. Keep going. Well, as you can see, 90 fish is about 170 FPS. 90 is still probably too many, so we'll go down to say that 41. It's actually above there. You can see that the shark and stuff has gone. He's stuck, so I'm going to get rid of them all and add a few back, basically. Yeah, I'm starting to think the fish should be a little bit bigger. I'm going to add something for that. Next feature, you can toggle the bubbles in the background if you can see them. They're hard to see, but there's some bubbles there. You can turn them off, turn them on again. They take a while to start up. The toggle the water surface I've shown. F is interesting. You can simply turn off the sun, which makes it look like a sort of nighttime scene, which is cool. This is using the universal render pipeline in Unity, which is awesome actually. It looks really good, and it's not quite as powerful as HDRP, but supposedly more powerful than the built-in renderer and faster, so I like it. I haven't built this out for Android yet. I will try it at some point. I'll put the daytime back on. There's audio, which is just underwater audio. There's particles. If you look closely, you can see little white dots floating around to try and mimic the sort of stuff in the water that happens in fish tanks. So you can turn them on and off. It's hard to notice. Shadows. You can go at the moment. I think they're on hard shadows, and now it's on soft, and then turn them off altogether. So you can see hard. You can see the fish there at the bottom is projecting onto the sand and the little weeds and stuff. And then if you go up to soft, you can see the shadows are a little bit nicer. Although they're not casting not many casting right now. And you can turn them off. Yeah, you can see one's going over the rocks now. Off, hard, soft, hard, soft. And you can change the rotation of the sun using X and Y. So if I press X, that is wrong. I pressed the wrong thing. Well, anyway, I'll show this feature. This is the wireframe feature, just to show basically how many polygons are being used. And you can change the color just for the sake of it. And it looks cool if you go into following a fish in the wireframe mode like this. And this could be used as some cool visuals for a club screen or something, or any screen. I really like the wireframe appearance if I zoom out like that. And obviously, by turning on the particles and toggling the particles and the bubbles, you get rid of these little squares. Though I quite like them. If I turn off, say, the particles now, you see all the little squares vanish. If I turn off the bubbles, you'll see that the other ones disappear too. And I think that looks pretty awesome actually. And I've got a yellow one. So if I go back out of that, there's a bug at the moment now where the fish actually stay in wireframe. I need to fix that. What I was going to show was the sun rotation X and Y, but I pressed X. No, it's actually K and L. So if I hold my finger on K now, the sun angle will change. You can see the shadows at the bottom changing and the scene getting darker and darker and darker. If I just keep holding it, it loops back around. So you could automate that so it keeps going around, or you could pick your favorite lighting and leave it like that. If I press L, that'll make it rotate on the Y, which has its own effect as well. And again, it'll loop around if I keep holding it. And if you put on the fish tank and the water surface again, well, you don't need the fish tank technically, you can see how the sun interacts with the surface actually. Oh, you do need the tank because you can see it reflecting off the glass there, and then it actually reflects off the water like that, and you get this kind of sparkly effect, which looks pretty awesome. Now that water should probably be reflecting like total internal reflection, but it isn't. It's actually an ocean flipped upside down and made smaller. So if I go do the Y one now, just to show that the way it looks on the water with Y, same sort of sparkly effect should happen. Yep. Now I'm going to stop it and start it again just to get the real fish textures back and not the wireframe one. Other features, that's it really. At the moment I have one more feature, C, which changes the fish speed. So that's fast, and that's really, really slow, and then that's medium. I might add some more parameters for tweaking the way the fish behave, avoidance, sear and turn power and things like that. Or I might give each individual fish slightly different behaviors and speeds, and I'll probably randomize it so sometimes fish go fast and then slow, make it look more realistic. But yeah, for now, just those 3 different settings. And that's pretty much it. A fun little project, making a fish tank simulator. I'll probably do another video when I improve a few things and also get the custom fish in, which I've actually hired an artist for. And I might try it on Android and see how it runs now. There'll be lots of performance issues, no doubt, on Android. That's why I've included the ways to toggle these things on and off. So on a device I can say, oh, you don't need bubbles because that slows it down, or more likely than not it'll be the shadows that slow it down, and the amount of fish. And at the moment I've got things like real-time reflections on and that. Obviously you don't need any of that. You want it to be quite tame to run on Android. But yeah, I'll try it on my tablet, see how it goes. Be nice if it ran the same speed with a few of these features on. Maybe next I'll try and get some water waving in the... try and get the grass waving in the water, and possibly maybe some caustics that reflect over the whole scene. Not reflect, but change the light over the whole scene. And I did actually have some that I already bought, but they were for the built-in render pipeline, not the universal render pipeline, so they didn't work. Which is a real shame that all the shaders don't work when you swap over to universal render pipeline or the HD render pipeline. But actually I've been pretty impressed with this pipeline, and first time I used it, and I will do other projects in it. And like I say, unless it tanks on the Android, then it seems the performance is pretty good. Okay, that's it I think. Thanks for watching.